every Sunday they fill stadiums from coast to coast. They come to see their superstars, their superheroes, men whose names and numbers are familiar to the most casual fan. Men like O.J. Simpson, whose legend began in college and followed him to professional ball. Men like Lance Alworth, whose graceful style and God-given talent have made his name a household word. And men like Gale Sayers, whose greatness is such that his number is frozen in the mind of anyone who ever saw him play. In New York, there is another number 40. His name is Joe Morrison. He's not a superstar, yet he's symbolic of those men who since the beginning have been the soul and sinew of the sport. In 12 years, he's played 6 positions for the Giants, all of them well, but nothing has come easy.
I think I recognize I don't have the ability that possibly a lot of other people in the league have, so you have to make up for it through pride and desire and wanting to get the job done. And this is what I try and do with what I got.
Joe Morrison does make do with what he's got, but as is his nature, he shares the credit.
I think any runner, regardless of the speed, has to depend on those people up front to block for him, or he's not going to go anywhere. Once you get through the line, then I think there is a lot of individual effort, and you can make use of your individual abilities, but primarily I think knowing what your offensive line is doing is probably the most important thing to a running back.
Yes, the blockers help, but Joe Morrison, the running back, gets an A when it comes to individual effort. As a receiver, he lacks the speed of jet streak burners like Bob Hayes. In fact, his speed is sometimes the butt of jokes, and one wonders how he ever manages to get open.
How do I manage to get open? There's a lot of times I don't manage to get open. Well, my speed is not going to scare anyone, that's for sure. But I think you can go back to some of the great people that we've had on this ball club in the past, and that's the Kyle Rotes and the Frank Giffords. Looking at these people and taking their moves and adapting them to your abilities, I think this has helped tremendously even in running pass patterns today, because they knew the game, they were very knowledgeable, and they had great patterns. And Kyle wasn't, or Frank either, wasn't the fastest individual in the league, so they made use of moves and patterns and knowledge of the defense, not only trying to beat a man, but trying to beat a defense.
Again, he's willing to share the credit. But when he's out there 2 or 3 steps behind the defender, making the great catch, the credit can only go to Joe Morrison's determination to succeed. In 1969, he led the Giants in rushing and receiving. Yet for him, these accomplishments weren't important, for he's a man who does not revel in the thrill of personal success. For him, the thrills of football are above the personal level.
My greatest thrill, and I think you have to say thrills, because being a member of the New York Giants, playing in Yankee Stadium, playing with all the great people that they've had here in the past, and I think beating Cleveland after being born and raised in that territory, you always get a special thrill or a kick out of beating the Cleveland Browns.
In 1969, the last game of the season was against the Browns. The Giants were decided underdogs, but they wanted to win badly, especially number 40. And on that day, as always, Joe Morrison rose to the occasion. He caught, he ran, he inspired his teammates. Single-handedly, he demolished the Browns. Joe Morrison has given much to pro football, and it makes one wonder what he will ask of the sport when he leaves it for good.
I think I'd like to be remembered by my teammates. I think I would like to be respected by my teammates and by the people that I played against. I think there's a lot of things that enter into all of this, but I think if they would remember me as just a hustling ball player, I'd be happy.
It will happen when the crowds have given their last cheer, when there is no time left in the game for Joe Morrison. Somewhere in Yankee Stadium, an echo will linger saying, "There was a hustling ball player."
If you're a professional football player, Monday is supposed to be a day of relaxation. However, it rarely is, because from the first moment of the day to the last, every bone and muscle in your body reminds you of the play where you were blindsided by the Deacon, crunched by Davidson, or went head-on with Butkus. On Mondays, the cheers have faded, but the pain has not. For veteran professionals like number 37, Eagle fullback Tom Woodeshick, Sundays are no longer fun, but rather 60 minutes of hard work, characterized by violent and painful reminders of a Sunday battle. But for Tom Woodeshick, and for his wife, Marcia, the war goes on 14 weeks a year. And on this Sunday, he faced another defense whose object was to make Tom pay for every yard he might gain.
I see that. Okay, let's do that.
Good luck. Have a great game. When I married Tom, I knew what I was in for as a football player's wife. But it's still hard to sit in the stands and wonder if Woody will make it through each game without being seriously injured.
I never really worry about injuries before the game. If they happen, they happen. The only thing I ever think about is making that initial contact, because contact is what football is all about, and that's why I like it.
The day ended prematurely for Woodeshick when a tackle by Chicago's Dick Butkus forced him to the sidelines for the rest of the game.
When you're hurt, you just can't let it get you down. The only thing you can hope for is that the trainer or the doctor can rehabilitate you in time for the next game.
For the Eagles, it was another tough loss. As he signed autographs, Tom Woodeshick thought not only of the loss, but also of his own physical status. He would learn his fate the next day, Monday, when he would visit the Eagles' locker room to consult with trainer Moose Deddy and the team doctor about his injury.
It was a good ball game, but Norman, we should have won the ball game. There's no question about it. But it's a good hard-hitting team. You got to give them credit.
Yeah, but you hear a lot about Butkus and how tough the Bears are. It's the first time we've played them since I've been with the Eagles. But yeah, by the way, what was that thing Butkus had going? Looked like you had a...
Oh, hey, I'll tell you, he was keen on me. Remember that toss you gave me on third down or second down when we were penetrating deep in their territory? I think it was the last quarter or into the third quarter.
Yeah.
And, boy, we hit head on after about 4 yards. I got some momentum up, and we just hit head on. I'm going to tell you, it hurts. Well, you should know. He blitzed you a couple of times.
What, you come out all right?
No, I hurt my clavicle. In fact, it might even be without, you might even be without my services this week. I don't know. We'll have to see what it's like. Once he's going to have to give us some treatment all week.
It can't be without you.
You ready for us, Moose? All right.
What's the matter with you, Woody?
Hurt clavicle, huh?
Clavicle.
I would
Sternoclavicular joint athlete.
Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, it still hurts.
Tender on the joint?
Right there.
Did you get hit on your chest?
Yeah. No, on the end of the shoulder.
Drove the clavicle out.
Head on with Butkus.
I think I'll be all right. Why don't we just turn this thing over to Moose? A little strapping, a little heat, something of that type, and we'll settle you down.
Fine. Good.
Well, Tom.
Hey, I hope you can relieve the pain with
Oh,
this
this won't bother you, kid. We'll strap it downwards and
Because I
in
had
real good shape here
I
for
had
you.
a heck of a time trying to sleep last night with this.
Well,
Just
these-
rolled around all night.
These are tender for about 10 days is all, Tommy.
Yeah.
And they won't hamper your play any at all. What I want to do is
I got one hair on my chest, and you had to put it on that hair, didn't you?
I was after it. What we want to do, Tom, is get your shoulder pads out and check, see if they're a little loose.
Yeah.
And I think we'll put an air pad under it, you see.
Uh-huh.
That'll take up some of the pressure in this. If you got a good rough bunch you're going to be hitting against this Sunday. I think we're due to pick up about 50 points, 300 yards for you.
I could use it.
Tom Woodeshick hoped that next Sunday's game would not bring another visit from the doctor on Monday. But in the violent world of pro football, he could never be sure. And it seems now that more and more players, more good players, come from little-known colleges.
Some of the best-known stars from the least-known schools. A prime example would be Leroy Kelly, who played his collegiate ball at Morgan State. Does it make any difference, as far as the pros are concerned, if you played in a major college or a minor college?
I think basically the pro scouts and the pro teams are looking for athletes more than anything else. It doesn't make any difference where they play. The scouting systems have improved so much in the last, 10, 12 years. There was a time, I think, if you played at a small college like this, you stood a good chance of not being discovered. The day of the sleeper in the draft is past now because the scouting systems and the coaching in small colleges has gotten so much better. It all boils down, I guess, to no matter where a college football player plays, if he's good enough, a pro scout today will find him, as you'll see in our feature.
Grambling, Louisiana is a small, sleepy, rural town. It's also the home of Grambling College, which plays exciting, frenzied football on a big-time scale. It's homecoming weekend at Grambling. This tiny all-Negro school has produced more professional football players than any other comparable institution. A Grambling homecoming is a time of parties, fun, and a chance for the alumni to see their Tigers play Texas Southern. But for two men, it means business as usual. Jack Butler and Jim Parmer work for Blesto V, a 5-team professional scouting pool. Previously, all scouting was done by individual teams employing few scouts, and the small schools were overlooked. With the advent of Blesto V, no college or potential prospect is ignored. Scouting a prospect doesn't begin at the game, but at the practice field, where the intangible factors can be found and judged.
I guess. In the 100, he's about a 9, 9, 9, 8. In the 40, he's around a 4, 6, 4, 7. He's got a real long stride, you see. And this is deceptive. This is real deceptive, this stride here.
He's quick enough to play on the corner?
Yeah, he's quick enough to play on the corner.
He's 21, snaps. All right, let's go. Come on. Hurry, hurry. Blue! 29! Hot one, hot two, hot, hot.
He backs up pretty good like there. He's pass blocking. It's like 6 there. Oh, he's gone. It's pretty good speed, though. I'd like to see more of that Burroughs kid, you know?
Yeah.
Although he's on their class, but it looks like he's got great potential.
He's going to be a good one.
Does he run that 9.4? Is that right? 9.400?
He runs a 9.4. This thing that makes him such a good short receiver is everybody's scared to death at speed.
Yeah.
Look at that 52. Huh? Look at him, he's going to get him. Oh, you see that guy get hit there?
Callaway will make half the tackles. You pretty well satisfied on each one of these kids?
Yeah, it's a good ball game.
Yeah, well, we got 170 miles drive Little Rock tonight. We better get out of here early.
For Jack Butler and Jim Parmer, it's on to another game, another prospect. Their reports on the Grambling Texas Southern game will be sent to their central office in Pittsburgh as more grist for the computers. When the NFL draft arrives, the member teams of Blesto V can be assured that if help is needed at any position, Blessed OV has found the best man to fill it.